Hi there! Welcome back to my channel, Healing with Kearra. Today I wanted to do a little energy reading. So we have a transit coming up like tomorrow in the really early in the morning. As I have made a lot of videos on my channel, Venus is in retrograde since the end of last week. So I have quite a few videos. I'll link a couple of them, just talking about, picking up on the general energy and a few picker cards. So, yeah, I'll link those below. But as I explained, whenever planets go into retrograde, it's like they appear to stop in the sky and stall, and then they appear to move backwards, and then they'll kind of stop and stall, and then they'll move forward again. So there's three different phases. The first time a planet will move through that space in the sky, it's called the pre-shadow phase. The second time, as it's appearing to move back through, it's called the retrograde phase. And then the last time, as the planet moves forward again and gets back up to its regular speed. It's the third time it moves through that space in the sky, and they refer to it as the post shadow period to the retrograde. So, right now, Venus is in retrograde, and very interesting, Mercury is actually about to enter its its pre shadow period, I'm sorry, in the beginning of August. And then at the end of August, Mercury is also going to be in retrograde. So for just a few weeks there, we'll have Mercury and Venus retrograding at the same time. But regardless, through a huge portion of the Venus retrograde we're experiencing right now, we're going to also be in the pre-shadow period to the Mercury retrograde. So it just creates kind of an interesting dynamic. We also have quite a few of the outer planets in retrograde as well, so it can be kind of an intense summer. I also heard yesterday it's like the hottest summer on Earth. Like, I don't know if that's true, but like everywhere, all over the place, it's just like really, really hot. Like everywhere's reaching record numbers, so that's really interesting. But um, I don't know why. That doesn't really relate to anything at all. I just thought that was interesting. I just felt like saying that. But yeah, so for a good bit of August, basically the whole month of August, we're going to be either in the pre shadow phase or in a Mercury retrograde, and also in the midst of our Venus retrograde still. So Venus is going to continue to be in retrograde until the beginning of September. And then that's whenever we'll start to move forward, and it will be in the post shadow phase. And then Mercury will be in the midst of its retrograde. So it's just kind of interesting how it's all unfolding. But tomorrow, or ish, early in the morning, uh, the current Venus retrograde and Mercury um, are going to kind of meet or come into a conjunction, a direct conjunction in the sky. And so, uh, yeah, it's kind of like Mercury, the planet of Mercury can represent like our communication, our thought patterns, the way we take in information and learn, or the way we exchange information. But so Mercury, the like figure, or the person, like the, I believe it's like the Greek figure that the planet was named after, if you will, was known to be kind of like a trickster and to kind of play jokes on people or play tricks on people. So Mercury, it does represent kind of like our communication styles, our thought patterns, our Yeah, it's like our associations, right? Or just like the way we take in information and then, associate it and digest it and like communicate it within ourselves, like the actual thought patterns and what's the proper word here? Like the neural pathways that are created in our brain, right? And how we kind of like associate and take in things and then uh, exchange outward and communicate with others. And but yeah, sometimes there's a lot of tricks in there. Sometimes we don't always necessarily see things uh, as they are. Yeah, sometimes the energy can be like playing around with us. So a lot of people feel like Mercury retrograde is a time where like everything's all bad. It's like all miscommunication, and there's a lot of like fear, like don't. And I think with Venus retrograde, it's the same. Like the just the thing the narrative, if you will, that I see a lot like during these types of transits and during this time period, especially, is just like, don't enter in new relationships, don't sign new contracts. Anything you start now will be like unstable or rocky, or but for me, like the way that I see it is I feel like during retrogrades, it's a time to kind of like see the other side of the coin, or yeah, it's you can see things that you couldn't necessarily see before. Just having that other ulterior perspective that you maybe don't always have access to, and so you can maybe actually learn something new in order to communicate more healthy in your relationships, or yeah, you can just see something that you weren't able to see before that helps you to move forward. Or sometimes, yeah, we have to kind of take steps backwards in order to see things the way we need to see things, or in order to be able to rebuild like the dynamics that we want to have in our relationships. So all of that can kind of relate to Venus or Mercury retrograde, but especially like this upcoming period where they're both going to be kind of going through their own phases and transits at the same time, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's like all bad, it's all chaos. You have to be like totally afraid. Yeah, sometimes it's just like an opportunity to kind of like dig deeper. Like I said, see things you couldn't see before. Yeah, like a time to like look into our relationships and see what is working and what's not working, and how we can work with others or communicate with others in order to have like the best outcome or the best success. Or yeah, if like there's certain contracts or certain things around you, like with your job or your career, or certain like just structured environments that you're involved in at this time, it can be an opportunity to like go within and see what's working or what needs to be restructured. Or if you feel like you're stuck in certain things and you can't get out of it, like say you have like a big contract signed, and um, you're stuck in this like 10-year contract and there's like nothing you can do about it. It's like this type of a uh, exchange with the energy, or more of like a time like this where everything's kind of moving backwards or everything's shifting around. It's like it could create like an opening then to where it's like now you're able to all of a sudden get out of something that you felt like you were stuck in for a really long time. Or yeah, sometimes these periods of like the energy shifting backwards is necessary for things even in our own lives, like to bring things back into alignment. So then once we start moving forward, we're like I said, that much more in alignment, or we're just moving in a direction that's more healthy for us and like helps us grow the best as individuals and in our relationships. So sometimes you just need a little bit of work on like your perspective or your communication style, or yeah. So that's what we're going to be looking into this video. Just kind of doing like a deep dive into the general energy regarding um, yeah, the specific transit, Mercury and Venus retrograde kind of coming together, because I feel like it's going to be a little bit of like a a foreshadowing of the upcoming energy in August. And then, yeah, I'm also wanting to do pick a card later today on like communication that could be coming towards you during all of this time. So stay tuned for that if that sounds interesting. And I'll have just like a general energy read for August coming up and a collective reading for the pre-shadow phase to the Mercury retrograde, if that is interesting to you. Because like I've explained in some of my past videos, during the pre-shadow phases, you can kind of like a lot of the things that you may experience during the retrograde can like come up, and it can be an opportunity to look at things or to start to see or be a little bit aware of the certain energies or certain things that could be kind of coming towards you. So sometimes when we're going through major chaos during a retrograde, if we'll reflect back to just the few weeks before, you may notice like, oh, there was maybe a few signs there, or the few things that kind of came up that would have, given me a clue as to all of this unexpected chaos that's now, this upheaval or this communication that's happening. It's like sometimes during those few weeks before, we're like, yeah, given little signs or nudges or opportunities to look at certain things or to just see like what could be coming. And so whenever we're aware of like the upcoming transits and the things that are happening energetically around us in the universe, it's like then we don't feel as like blindsided and is it doesn't just like come in and affect us and jam up our whole day. And it may actually, right, but then it's not like, oh my gosh, why is this happening? It's always like, okay, there's a bigger picture, there's like all of this moving energy around me, and I'm just kind of becoming a victim to it right now. And it's like, how do I step out of it and empower myself and learn to use the energy as a tool in my life to better myself and my circumstances and move forward and better tackle the situations that come up around me that I don't have a lot of control over, right? Because that's a lot of times where miscommunication stems from, is like sometimes there's a lot of things that are happening around us, and it's like we can't control every single moving part of everything that's happening, and we're just kind of trying to do our best. Or yeah, we can really only control us, right? And the way that we react to everything that's happening. So whenever we have the most awareness of our environment around us and how that could be affecting us on a personal level, then we're better able to take care of ourselves and continue to move forward no matter what is coming up around us. And we could be like less triggered. So that's why I really, really love astrology, and I really love just like knowing what's happening and what's coming up, and I try to like stay focused on it. And um it really helps me to, I try to use it in parallel with just the inner work that I'm doing in my life. And so that was a big that's just a big thing that I want to share and try to build on this channel. So if that is interesting to you, then subscribe, and I am definitely gonna try to plan like more videos like this, or just try to be aware of what's coming up and what's happening with the planets and the transits and all the things. And picking up on the energy and trying to share it with everyone who's also interested. So again, today's video is about the upcoming transits tomorrow morning. So today is July 26th, 2023. So tomorrow on July 27th, 2023, earlier in the morning, Venus retrograde will be coming in conjunction with Mercury. So Ooh, so we have the Ace of Cups, the bottom of the deck, in the world. Oh, and then the moon underneath. So right away, I'm picking up on this energy of okay, so with the world, it's like this ending of a cycle, right? It's like coming out of something, or just like ending a cycle of like the way something was, and like beginning anew here. So with the moon, it's like in the past, if um someone was like keeping a lot of things from you, or there was a lot of things kind of unknown or hidden or uncertain here, or not fully revealed, or yeah, they had certain things kept in the dark. It's like someone was not revealing like their full selves or their full feelings, not being fully transparent. It's like this is kind of coming to an end here, or yeah, this cycle of just like not being fully straight up, or not being fully honest or fully real about everything that was going on with someone or something, or their true feelings here, the true depth of like how they felt, or all of the truth of how they felt in some way. It's like ending that cycle here, and that's creating an opportunity for like this new emotional beginning here. So it's like now that someone is choosing to be honest and open up about something, there's this sense of clarity. It's like all parties can see something here, or see the situation for what it is. And so then it's like creating a new start here for like two people to grab hold of like this new emotional situation, and just kind of like plant it somewhere new, something I'm seeing. So like someone else could there could have been other people around the situation that didn't want this here, or were like trying to rain on your parade, or um it like would have made them really frustrated or unhappy to like see this here for some reason. So it was just like everything was kind of like kept in the dark, or kept in this like waiting period. It like had to cycle out. But now it's like ultimately something is like ending or shifting out of the way that something was. And so then it's with all of these vines all around here too, it's like an opportunity to free yourselves, or be free in some way, and then like take hold and plant somewhere new. But it's like being free of somewhere where like um both of you, or like one person, could have felt really caged. um or just, yeah, if it's just about you in general, it's like someone could have felt really caged. We have, okay, so yeah, so we have the Four of Wands and the Star. So the Four of Wands is in the reverse, and the Star. So it's exactly what I was saying. Like there was this, it's like, okay, so there was some sort of factor here of like other people didn't want to see something happen, or other people would have been really upset or like frustrated for some reason to see something happen a certain way. They were like trying to rain on your parade. So yeah, then I saw like the Four of Swords. So it's like things had to go into this, yeah, and the Judgment right underneath that. Things had to go into this waiting period, or this dormant period, or it's like things had to be put on like pause or on hold to kind of like protect them or keep them safe here. Keep something about the situation safe. It's like, yeah, it wasn't safe to be vulnerable, to be straight up, to be upfront, to like reveal the full transparency of like the how someone felt here, or the full situation, the full spectrum of like what was really going on. It's like it wasn't safe, but it's like now it's like coming out of that, coming into a period where it is safe to be seen here. Or it's like someone felt like they had to wait for a while, or before they could choose someone. Because like with the Four of Wands, like in the traditional Four of Wands, it's like those two people walking through the arch. So it's like I always see it as like two people kind of like being victorious or like overcoming together and like being able to step into like a new phase. Um, so it's like I'm picking up on this energy where yeah, there was like someone couldn't tell someone how they felt about them, or they couldn't pursue someone and like choose someone at a certain time because it wasn't quite safe. There was like people around who were like hating on this or like didn't want to see it happen or were trying to rain on their parade. And so then they didn't want to like open up and be vulnerable about um like a certain person or a certain situation that they like really wanted or really cared about here or really wanted to be victorious or like choose in some way or like have in their lives in some way. So it's like having to go into this dormant period or this rest period. But there was like this hope here that things could be like reemerged or things could be like brought back to life when the timing was right. Is like this divine timing. Like there's this hope that like they'll be like led back together. So yeah, now it's like the something has like naturally cycled out here. So it's like an opportunity to like replant somewhere new, to like pick up and move out of a space where things felt really stuck here, but that's because like one party felt like it wasn't safe to be vulnerable or it wasn't safe to move forward, it wasn't safe to like choose someone here. There was like all these people around them like judging them or something, so they felt like they couldn't do something at that time. They didn't want certain people to like see their actions or see like what they really cared about, see their intentions, so then other people couldn't like intervene. It was like trusting in the divine to like protect the situation so that when the time was right, they could like really go all in or have the best like emotional opportunity or the best like opportunity for like a pure like start in some way. Yeah, it like went into hibernation or something. It was like trusting the divine to like revive things or to like bring it back to life whenever the timing was right. Is like turn kind of like turning a light back on or um, shining a light on things and like allowing two people to kind of like move out of one cycle and move into the next, or it's like make some sort of sacrifice or cut certain people out of the situation so that certain people could reemerge victorious here. But it's like that couldn't happen at one time for whatever reason. One party like couldn't see here with the moon. It's like they didn't have clarity, they couldn't see like maybe in the past this had to go into like a rest or a waiting period because there was like this someone around them that had like really bad intentions or like didn't want to see you guys together or was like inadvertently trying to like have control over the situation so that yeah, they could like make sure like um that things weren't able to like really flourish or shine here, or it's this level, or yeah, it's like they had like control over that person's like mental state here, so then they had control over like the emotional outcome of the relationship as well, so they were able to like create a lot of chaos in the situation, and so it wasn't safe for the relationship at that time. And with the moon, it's like one person couldn't see this here, so they weren't able to make the sacrifices they needed to make for the couple or the situation to move forward and be victorious and like move forward in the ways they needed to. It's like one party couldn't like see this here. They couldn't see this Queen of Swords or this other person's intentions. Um yeah, they like couldn't see the full picture. It's like they didn't have clarity. There was like a distortion here. They didn't realize that their emotions, they didn't realize how much control this other person had over like their mental state. And so then this other person was able to create a lot of emotional chaos in the relationship. And it's like one party couldn't see this here. They didn't understand that like whenever they suddenly felt triggered or they suddenly felt a certain type of way or like saw things a certain type of way, it was like because this other person had a lot of control and was able to like create upheaval whenever they wanted to keep like certain people apart here. So it's like it had to go into this like rest period so that one party could see things for what it was and like have the clarity that they needed to have in order to make the sacrifices they needed to make to cut certain things out of the relationship, so that it could like transform or like grow into the next level, and like continue to shine here. But it's like even though things had to end or things had to fall apart because one party couldn't see like the influence of someone around them, it's like, um, maybe the person who had to separate themselves or like felt like they had to let everything go into like a rest period, like had hope that things would be revived, or like this other person would come around or like see the influence or see the manipulation of this other person here and get clarity in the situation. So now it's like a cycle has ended. So there's like this, hope here, but there could have always been, it's like deep down both or one parties could have always known that like one person would finally like see the light here or like get clarity or see the truth of, what was really going on, or that other person's really intentions, how much of like they were just kind of hating on the situation, or it's like they just wanted to like rain on their parade, and so it made them feel really discouraged about the situation, or they were trying to manipulate them to think there was like real problems that weren't really there or something, in order to just create emotional chaos. Um, but it's like with this, all of this here, it's like one party always had like hope that this would like all be brought to light and that spirit would like revive this like in divine timing. So it's like things had to like end, or they had to like allow them, one person had to like allow themselves not to be chosen for a time period, um in order for things to like come full circle, or for the other party to like see things on their own for themselves, or to gain some sense of clarity. And it's like now things have like naturally ended, or the cycle is naturally ended, it's like naturally moving into the next phase. So there's like this new opportunity to pick up and plant somewhere new here. Yeah, there's this energy of like, it's like deep down there was like always this hope that things could like come back together or be revived, or it's like, um deep with this like face here, it's like deep down there was always this like, really passionate feelings, or there was always like a light, shining for the other person, or like always being drawn in that direction regardless. So it's like deep down both parties kind of knew that, they would always like find their way back to each other or something. It's just like, yeah, things had to like cycle out. It's like at that time it wasn't like safe for them to come together or be together, so it's like it had to end, the way that it did, however, and go into this like rest or waiting period in order to like be revived, or like, yeah, come together in the future, or when the time was right, or when it was safe, or like in divine timing here. So we have the Three of Swords in the reverse for like what's kind of grounding the situation. So yeah, in the past it could have been like really really, painful. There could have been like a deep betrayal here. It could have like emotionally really affected, all parties here. But it's like, maybe some time has went on, so there's been some sort of healing, or with the perspective that's being gained, then it's like now it's like not really seeing the situation in the same light, whereas like maybe in the past you're looking back and looking at it as like this huge betrayal, but now that you're kind of having clarity or being able to see like the full picture of everything, it's like you see it as, like it's, in some ways it's like not as painful, or you've been able to kind of like heal emotionally, from certain things in certain ways in regards to the situation. Yeah, like with the eye, it's like being able to see things in a different light, or see things as they actually are, is like, uh, it creates a lot of healing. It's like no longer as painful, or it's like you no longer feel as like rejected or like you weren't chosen. You see like there was like all this outside influence or manipulation, or it was just like not the right time, or it just wasn't safe to be together at that time. So it kind of like helps to mend like the heartache, or, like, yeah, it could have been really really painful when this actually separated, or whenever whatever happened did happen here. Yeah, so with what's influencing the situation, we have the Eight of Swords. So for a long time, one or both parties like couldn't see here, like, someone felt like they couldn't move forward here because they had like a lack of clarity or a lack of perspective, Um, so I'm getting like with one party, it's coming from a place of they just didn't like they were just so hurt and they felt so betrayed. They didn't have like the full picture. So it just kind of made them feel stuck. And then with the other party, it was this like energy where they couldn't see the true intentions, like I was saying. They couldn't see the true intentions of this other person and how much control this other person had over their emotional state. So they were able to like trigger emotional upheaval, or their mental state, I meant to say. So then they were able to trigger like emotional upheaval in the relationship and like, yeah, create or like project storms here. It was like, um, yeah, that person could not see that. They couldn't see how much the other party was influencing them mentally here, which was causing them to like stay stuck in a cycle, or to just feel stuck or feel like they couldn't move forward or make a change. So even if they were really hurting over the situation too, there was like nothing they could do about it, or they just had to accept it, or they just had to stay stuck in some way. They just, because they couldn't see like a lot of the choices or a lot of what they were doing, it wasn't even their own actions. They're being so heavily influenced by this other person who's just trying to like rain on their parade in some way, or just like create like emotional drama in some way in the situation. So it was making them feel like they couldn't move forward. And then with the other person, um, yeah, it's like not having like clarity to be able to see the full picture of like just like how the divine is kind of like working in the situation to allow the other person to actually see what's going on, and how it's like allowed it to end in order to actually protect and preserve the situation. So then the other person can see what's going on and the truth of the situation for themselves, and have that like clarity and that understanding for themselves, so that moving forward they'll never like doubt that influence, or like doubt their feelings here. It's like the divine has like a bigger picture or a bigger purpose to like help solidify this person, or solidify them out of that situation. Because like with the world, that could have been a cycle or something they were caught up in for a really long time. This other person could have had a huge control over like the way that they thought, or their intellectual process, and just like the way that they viewed things, their perspective, just overall, all of that type of stuff for a really long time. It's just like the way they saw the world, the way they saw themselves in the world, the way they like interacted with others. It's like someone else had a big control for a long time over, like, yeah, their perspective of their relationships. And so they could really control the way that they reacted in their relationships and stuff. They just like couldn't see this. So it's like the divine had like a bigger plan or a bigger purpose in order to kind of like set things up so this person would finally see this truly for themselves, and just have that inner clarity for themselves, and be able to like make the sacrifices that they need to make to be able to move forward and grow in their own lives, like on their own, and it would be like really authentic to them. um so yeah, one party like couldn't see, yeah, it was like just kind of this personal journey for that other person here. So they felt really like betrayed or like rejected or heartbroken in some way. They couldn't see that it was actually ending, in order to like protect it for the like the integrity of it for the potential of the future. Once the divine is able to like work in situation and like bring things back together, or like revive things, it's like there's actually less damage or like less heartache than there could have been had things not ended in order to like preserve it in the long run at one time. So now there's like this new opportunity for two people to like pick up and plant new somewhere else because of the way that it unfolded in the past. So yeah, with the influence, we have the 8 of Wands. And so with this card, it's like this sudden burst of passion. It's, yeah. It's like suddenly balancing things out and like getting the divine inspiration. It's like either they're reaching out to the divine for assistance, or the divine is like helping them kind of like reach out and know, like getting downloads to like know exactly what to do here in order to be able to balance things out and move into the next cycle. But with the Eight of Wands, it's like this rapid, swift, like suddenly getting like this inspiration here, like bringing things together, gaining this clarity. Yeah, getting this like sudden inspiration, or it's like suddenly just, yeah, having that perspective and knowing exactly what you need to do and being able to just like swiftly um, execute, if you will. So we have the Eight of Cups for like kind of what's coming in and shifting the situation here. So with the Eight of Cups, it's like this energy of walking away from something that's no longer serving you. With this big heart in the bird, it's like I'm getting is it's a like walking away from what is no longer serving you emotionally, and like choosing to move forward. And with the egg is like, again, like planting somewhere new, or like planting a seed, or like starting over. um the potential to like start over somewhere new. So it's like walking away from something, even though it's like not quite finished yet, or you haven't quite reached the full potential of what it could be because it's no longer emotionally serving you. It's like walking away and choosing to kind of start over in a new direction towards something that could has the potential to actually grow into something that is more emotionally fulfilling, and like fills you up and like fills your heart up and makes you really happy here. So yeah, it's like leaving one thing that's like not quite finished. It hasn't quite finished reached its full potential, but it's just realizing it's not going to fill you up or emotionally serve you. It's like choosing to actually like, yeah, abandon and walk in a different direction that you think will actually have this potential here to grow into something that is going to, yeah, fill up your heart more, make you really, really happy, or like expand your heart more. I'm getting this thing of this image of it's like being willing to walk away from something that isn't quite finished yet because your heart is like, it's like the Grinch's heart when it was like really, really tiny. And it's like choosing to walk towards the potential of something else, the something that could grow into, um, you feel like would just be like a lot better. And it's like how on the Grinch, like when the heart grows really tiny to like this, it's like it's something that like makes your heart just like grow and like soar and like fills your heart, or just like makes you really happy. So then it goes from that like three sizes too small to like the boop, 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 on the Grinch when it like grows. That's the image I'm getting, is like, yeah, choosing to walk away from something that's no longer emotionally fulfilling you, to realize like if you start over somewhere else, then there's like a potential that it could soar into something like a lot bigger, a lot greater, like a lot faster. um so yeah, this could be like so this could be the party that didn't realize or like couldn't see how much someone else was influencing them or affecting them before. That, yeah, that other person could have had a lot of control over them in certain ways, and so they felt really stuck, and like they couldn't really like pursue the things that they wanted to. So it's like now they're, whatever investment they had with that other situation here, where this other person had like so much control over their emotional state, it's like however they were invested in this here, um, it's like now that they have this clarity, or something's come to light, or they see something differently here for what it is, it's like this is ended here. So it's like they're not actually getting anything out of this anymore. It's no longer really giving them anything at all. um, so it's like now that they see how much influence that person has, it's like it's no longer giving them this illusion that it's like filling their cup anymore. And so they're realizing to continue to invest in that isn't really going to get them anywhere or serve them at all. So it's like choosing to move forward. It's like with the egg, it's like whatever this other situation was that was like put on hold because it wasn't quite safe for it to like really flourish or develop into the next level yet because of the circumstances surrounding someone in the situation. It's like choosing to move in that direction here, because it's like understanding that that's something that really fills up their heart or makes them really happy, or it's like it makes their heart soar, or um, yeah, that situation like makes their heart grow, makes them feel really happy here. So it's like they want to go back to that like potential. It's like you guys didn't really get to have your starts or like truly get off the ground. And so it's like they want to go back to like the potential of like what could have been here. Because they feel like that could have made them really happy, or it could have like yeah, took off into a really healthy emotional place like really quickly here. Yeah, it also just makes them feel really free, makes their heart soar, makes them feel really happy, like light and free and not like weighed down and burdened. And um, like this other influence is putting them in a situation of just like, yeah, feeling like stuck, feeling like beneath a certain situation, weighed down, burdened. Um, and it's like this makes them like feel lighthearted and free and happy. And yeah, like makes their heart soar, like I said. And so it's like they want to like abandon one thing and like move towards the potential of something else that never really got to like take off, but they felt like could have made them really, really happy here. So with the action, we have the Nine of Cups. And so the Nine of Cups is like, it's kind of like this emotional independence, or it's like this gaining this emotional fulfillment or this emotional satisfaction within something. But in this card, we have this little guy, and this always makes me feel like this energy of like re-emerging or like coming back stronger. So it's like the recommended action here regarding this overall situation is like choosing to like rebuild something and come back stronger. So like what I'm getting from this is like choosing to kind of like say yes to something or a certain opportunity for something, and realizing that there is a lot of potential for emotional fulfillment and emotional happiness. It's like there's an opportunity for things to be like stronger, better, healthier the second time around. Yeah, for things to just like come back in a more powerful way here, have like a stronger foundation, but to also like really fill both parties up and like emotionally fulfill everyone. It's like if you say yes to something, there is a potential for it to like be rebirthed or to like grow into something that would make both people really, really happy. But yeah, you could like, is there potential to like come back stronger this time around or healthier in some way, like I said. So we have temperance in the reverse for the current outcome of the situation. So what I'm getting from this is like the pressure is building. Like, so the situation has just been in a like a dormant situation, or just kind of like a hibernation, a waiting period. It's like an incubation period, if you will. But it's like the pressure is building. Like the egg is starting to crack. Um, it's like, yeah, especially like whichever party had like let someone else influence them and affect them for so long, it's like now, um yeah, it's like they're really ready for this revival, or they're really ready to like with this cycle ending, it's like now they're really not getting anything out of this anymore. And so it's just like they're ready to, yeah, and with the Eight of Wands here like influencing things, it's like they're ready to just like dive in and go all in here. It's like they're, rather than trying to like hold back and kind of um find a balance with all of their feelings and kind of gather themselves and come from this like really stable, like well thought out place, they feel like it's been long enough, or like things have been like in the rest period for long enough, and it's time to just like take action. Or it's like, yeah, they don't have like an inner peace about the situation anymore. Like it's starting to like stir within them, or like eat at them, or like get to them so much. This idea of like they feel like they could have been really happy in this situation, or it could have really emotionally fulfilled them, or it just could have been yeah, this idea that like, you know, we could bring things back together. Like maybe we could have a second chance here, and things could be better if I didn't allow like, or if this other like influence or this other person wasn't so involved. Or like they're realizing like if that other person doesn't have so much control or influence over their intellectual state, then it's like they won't have so much control or influence over them emotionally and their decisions emotionally in some way. um, so it's like, yeah, this idea of like what it could have been, or the potential of um, yeah, wanting to just like go in this direction here, because it's like feeling like they didn't really get a true opportunity or a true chance here because someone else was just like influencing them so much. And so it's like starting to kind of pick at them or eat at them so much that it's like, um, it could be like giving them anxiety, or yeah, they just feel this like nagging, like, um, rushing like urge to just like reach out, or um, with the water in the hands, it's like to just like come forward and really let you know how they feel. Or like in the past, if they um, were like holding back or hiding or not being truthful in certain ways, it's like now um, they just want to come in and kind of like let it all out and like really like let you know how they feel here, or like uh, maybe like cry to you, just like really express their emotions or be really vulnerable, like not hold back, not hide anything. Yeah, definitely like let it all out, wear their heart on their sleeve. Like, um, they're not trying to be in this like cool, calm, collected, like, let me balance myself, let me like, they're not trying to be like tactful, or they're not trying to be like hasty or like waste any more time, because they feel like, um, yeah, like kind of went into a waiting period for long enough, and now they just like they're so uncomfortable in their circumstance, or like however things are in their life right now, they feel as though they have to like come forward and like share all of this with you, or share something with you, or share their emotions with you, or um they want to like come out of this cycle of like not really choosing each other, and like revive this and move it into a healthier place. um like really quickly. Or yeah, they want to like move forward really quickly. They want to just like really swiftly, like not hold anything back, not hesitate, lay it all out there, tell you exactly how they feel, be fully open and transparent. Ooh, too many spirit. Ooh, we have safe travel. This is all about like the road ahead, whatever direction you're going in is safe. So yeah, they feel like, um, however they felt in the past was being influenced by this other person kind of like manipulating them, and they feel like if they were to just dive into this, or just go all into this in the way that they want to, just truly throw themselves into this, not hold back at all, that it actually is going to be like safe, or it actually is going to be like the best thing for them. Whereas like maybe in the past someone kind of convinced them that it's like they couldn't just like go all in or dive all in into a situation the way that they really wanted to. So it's like as much as this really hurt them, they like felt like they were stuck or they couldn't do anything about it, and now they have clarity, they can see the influence this other person had, so it's like they want to walk away from that and just like just swiftly dive into this and just trust that the road ahead is going to be safe, right? And like you're not going to hurt them, or they're not going to hurt you, or like it, you guys can be like stronger here, and yeah, come back even better, even more powerful, even more emotionally fulfilling, now that you've like both grown and learned so much about like the situations around you. Divine masculine. So the person that's like kind of learning all of these lessons and like had this person in their life could be like the divine masculine in the situation. So the divine masculine is the embodiment of logic, direction, action, and strength. In his most evolved aspect, he represents the builder, the protector, and the guardian. Drawing this card can symbolize that the divine masculine energy is needed to balance your current situation. It can also represent father brother healing and the healing of relationships with the divine masculine in your life. And then let's read the one for safe travel for you guys. A trip, a journey, or even a simple change of scenery is upon you. Meditate on this before you start a new adventure, move to a new home, or take a trip. Let's draw one um, oracle card. I feel the only way to forget you is distract myself with work, hobby, and friends. So that's how they could have kind of gotten themselves through this whole like period where the relationship was in a hibernation. They were just trying to really distract themselves here. When I listen to music, I feel you're speaking to me through the lyrics. I feel everything you felt. So, yeah, music could be something that's helping to give them a lot of clarity um, regarding kind of what all happened here. It's like now certain songs or certain things are popping up to give them just the right perspective here so that they can really understand how much influence this other person had, like how much it actually could have hurt you and affected you, and like why and how, and just really understanding like your feelings in it and where you were coming from. So now it's like they're going through situations where they're really having that understanding and that empathy for is like exactly how that made you feel when that other party like influenced the situation so much or like kept them in like such a stuck position here. It's like how much damage and pain it really created. You're always on my mind. I believe that. Let's get one more oracle card for you guys. Old conditioning, release. It's time to release old conditioning and to step into the new way of being. The old story and past cycles of blame, shame, and guilt need to move out. Take inventory of what no longer resonates and what isn't your burden to carry. Unload what has been weighing you down. Full circle, completion. You have chosen to learn from your mistakes and move forward, closing out the cycle. Every layer of yourself you acknowledge is a layer that serves its purpose. You are now feeling your power by seeing your inner strength and determination pay off. Be proud of this moment and let it carry you forward. So, yeah, that's more of that. Something is definitely cycled out here, and like if you're the other person that wasn't having to learn these lessons and you just kind of had to go through this pain and let things go into like a waiting period, I'm getting it's like your energy and the way you responded to the situation and just kind of like empowered yourself really reflected super positively on you. So it's helping you grow into like a new phase of your life. And it also helped inspire this other person to see how much potential they have to grow regardless of the uh, situations that are around them. So, yeah, it's like helping everybody to come full circle here and just release the old ways of the past that are no longer working for us or filling us up in the same ways that they once did. So, yeah, that is all I have for this reading. Thank you so much if you watched this far into the reading. If you would like to book something more personal, you can click the link in the description. And I hope you have a really, really good night. Thank you.